Good morning, son. You're looking well today.
Thank you, Papa. You're looking very young today.
Thank you very much. Right, so before we get into the news video, there's obviously going to be spoilers from Elimination Chamber last night, so click off now if you don't want to hear those. Andrew, a lot of the WWE universe are not very happy today. They want to smash stuff up. Is there anything you want to smash up before we do the news video? Oh, he's mental. Mrs. WWE Champion. Let's take a look at the headlines. Following Elimination Chamber, is The Miz about to put his career on the line? Paige has teased a WWE in-ring return, and Sasha Banks has revealed Vince McMahon's reaction when she said she wanted to leave WWE. We'll tell you more in a bit. So, as mentioned, The Miz is new WWE Champion. How are you feeling about this, little Andrew?
Yeah, it felt, it seemed as though it was a thing that could happen, and it did happen. I think a lot of us, which is quite surprising, me anyway, I thought that it wasn't going to be a successful one, Adam. I didn't think it would be a successful cash-in, but here we are today, Monday, following Elimination Chamber. Big Miz is here with a big belt.
I'm chuffed for him. Genuinely, I think his original WWE title run wasn't all that great. There's an argument to be made that he wasn't actually ready back then. And now, this feels like a second go at it. Will he hold it for that long? I don't know. It wouldn't even surprise me that much if he dropped it tonight on Raw, if I'm being totally honest. I don't know if we're going to get a Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Miz triple threat. Also, they teased earlier in the night, the Bad Bunny stuff is still ongoing. Bad Bunny, bang, slapping Miz in the face. Hard. It was a shoot slap. So maybe there'll be the tag match with Bad Bunny, Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison. Time will tell there. However, we've dug up something a little bit interesting. And this is from a social media post a year ago. And then there were comments following this social media post where Miz promised to put his career on the line. And if nothing else, he's a man of his word. What did he say on February the 11th last year over on Instagram, Andrew?
Well, he posted a picture, and it was the Miz and the WrestleMania Hollywood logo, and the comment was, WrestleMania is going Hollywood next year. If I don't main event, I quit. Ooh.
Goodness gracious me. Followed this up with the interview with Comic Book later in the year, saying, I make goals for myself that sometimes almost you look at and go, that's unattainable. And every goal I've had, I've accomplished and then some. Referring to him setting himself this challenge. If he's not going to main event, then he's going to quit. So this is a goal I have. This is a goal that I've set out to do. It's a goal that I said I'm going to main event WrestleMania 37. That's exactly where I need to be, and that's what I'm doing. There's no other options for me. That's the option. That's the way I shift my mind and focus. It's just the way I am. I make a goal for myself, and I do everything in my power to achieve that goal. He said it the same thing about 40 times there, and I haven't had a goal that I haven't met yet. So it's not over for Miz really yet, because if he does drop that title before WrestleMania, and then he doesn't main event WrestleMania, he's off skis. He said it himself.
Oh, but what's going to happen? Because we heard about maybe potentially there's going to be Bad Bunny and Damian Priest and Miz and Morrison. I don't think that'll headline WrestleMania.
I don't think that'll headline. And if that doesn't headline WrestleMania, see you later, Mike Mizanin. We'll have to get George in, which is fine by me, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because if WWE start acknowledging it on their shows, this seemingly innocuous post from a year ago, then things are about to get very, very interesting. At this point, I wouldn't put money on it, but my hunch is that Miz will not headline either night 1 or 2 of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that as well. I think that if he doesn't lose it on Raw tonight, I mean, we've got that wonderful pay-per-view coming up that we all love so much.
Get out of the way!
Honk, honk. Big old Fastlane. And I could see, if he doesn't lose it tonight, I can see him losing it at Fastlane.
I still want to be proven wrong, because as I mentioned, Miz didn't have a proper chance to prove himself as WWE Champion. His big WrestleMania moment, very much overshadowed by The Rock. And so, actually, at the same time, it would be really sad not to see Drew in the title picture at Mania, because we all want to see Drew win in front of a live crowd. Bobby Lashley, absolutely on fire. He looked incredible last night. What did Miz say to MVP backstage during the night when they were having a bit of a chin-wag before the main event? There's a lot to talk about, a whole lot to talk about, but the big story there is Miz is going to quit if he doesn't headline WrestleMania. He said it himself.
You heard it here first.
Next up, we've been talking about it quite a lot, but the AEW video game is, I don't want to say fast approaching, but we're getting closer and closer. That's how time works. We are getting closer to the AEW video game. It's been touted as a sort of spiritual successor to No Mercy for the N64, that sort of semi-arcade style. People are very, very excited about it. One Kenneth Omega has given us an update on when we can expect that video game to hit shelves/digital shelves. Andrew.
So, while the release date for the forthcoming game is not yet defined, AEW Executive Vice President himself, Mr. Kenneth Omega, revealed some more information, and he says we can expect it in the first quarter of 2022, Adam.
Woo-hoo! We're a year away.
It's not that. I mean, yeah, but time goes fast in that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing for it. I mean, it's going to be a few months following WWE 2K, the new game, whatever that may be called, which you've got to imagine that they're going to be putting a lot of effort into with the disaster that was WWE 2K20. But they've always been very keen to make it clear that this is not a simulation game. Do not expect something like the 2K series. Expect something which is fun to play. So I'm looking forward to... No, genuinely, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to the 2K outing as well. So yeah, he's been chatting with TalkSport there, saying, I wouldn't say years away. I'd say in a perfect world, give it about a year's time. We're working really hard, and we're lucky to have two teams, one in America and one in Japan, working on this almost around the clock. We do know that time is of the essence. We can't let this sit around forever. And people want a game like yesterday, so we want to release something as soon as we feel it's ready and representative of what our brand should be and what will make fans happy. It's not the only video game that they've announced, is it? They've also got that mobile game, the booking thing, like a GM mode or something like that. And also, there's some sort of casino game.
Oh yeah, completely forgot about that one.
This is the big boy.
The manager one looks amazing with like all the little graphics and stuff. I'm excited for that one.
Looking forward to it. So stay tuned, but you're going to be waiting about a year. Ricochet's pissed off. People have been slagging him off. He should be used to it by now. He's just a gymnast. He just does flips. He can't even wrestle. No, he's been getting slagged off on Twitter. And he's been replying to a clip of him hitting a double rotation moonsault and basically burying the people that are trying to bury him. What's he said?
He said, so this is what someone said, right? This is what someone said. They went, this sucks, man. Boo, pooey. This is gymnastics, not wrestling. Can he do a headlock though? Was that what was the story of the flip?
They're taking the piss there. I don't think he realised that. I think they're being ironic when he says this is gymnastics, not wrestling. Nobody says wrestling sincerely anymore, right?
No, exactly.
I think he's taking the piss. And Ricochet's buried him. Go on.
He says, at the end of the day, professional wrestling, get your Bad Bunny ears, professional wrestling isn't true wrestling either. It's not, can you say that word? Collegiate? It's not collegiate wrestling. It's an art form, so it can be portrayed any way the artist feels. Same with music, people have different tastes. And he also says another one, and let me nip this in the bud real fast. No, it's not my bosses telling me that I suck and that I can't wrestle.
Did he think it might be Vince McMahon under a burner account or something? I don't really understand the last bit. I'm fully behind him, you know. I think wrestling takes lots of different forms, and that's how he chooses to express his particular his art style. And if you know what, with all of this stuff, I just feel like there's enough wrestling out there. If you don't like that particular style, go and watch something else. There's so much great wrestling on offer. But Ricochet is a guy who I find tremendously entertaining to watch, and I think he's underrated in the same way that people have come round more recently and realised that Ospreay, not only can he do the flips, he can tell a hell of a story in the ring. Ricochet's the exact same there. But also he's very, very exciting to watch, so I fully understand why he does the flips. He's using his size to his advantage, right? That's what people have done for decades now.
Exactly, and it's so exciting as well. We've seen the big boys, we've seen all the big boys do the big boy graps and stuff, and it's fine, like, there's only a certain amount you can do with that, but with, like you were saying, with Ricochet and stuff, you can tell so much story, and the way he sells moves as well. I don't think I've seen a better seller than Ricochet recently in WWE anyway. Like, when he went up, oh yeah, good point, yeah.
No, he's great. No, I feel he is amazing. He's so good. what he does. Very, very underutilized. And speaking of underutilized, what a segue. Kurt Angle has been bigging up a very underutilized WWE superstar by the name of Not So Shorty G's, talking about Chad Gable and saying that WWE aren't using Gable to his full potential. We all know it, but it's nice to hear it straight from the Angle's mouth. What did he say?
He said, Chad has been underutilized, and I believe it's his size, even though he's as strong as an ox. He does a deadlift German with 300 pounders, and it's impressive. To do something like that, that's a talent you want to utilize. He's the real deal. He might not look that big, but his strength, technique, and ability showing those matches. If you put reins on the kid, he's not going to succeed. But if you let him go and let him do his thing, he's going to be a huge star. Someday they're going to utilize him correctly.
Now's not that day, is it? That's not today. I'm cool. I'm glad he's on TV. He's doing the stuff with Otis. But it's not the place that I'd like to see him. I think it's a waste of both men, actually. Not to say that they're not gelling nicely and it could be a bit of fun. Maybe they'll get a tag title reign out of it. They probably will, actually. But I think Chad Gables is... Gables? I think Chad Gables, Little Gables, is such a tremendous athlete. He's so fun to watch, and it just, once again, it feels like a bit of a waste of him. They don't seem to know what to do with him, and I think it's fairly odd. They've had this in the past with smaller guys who can wrestle, and it takes them a while to figure out what to do with them, and I don't think they're there yet with Shorty G. So yeah, fingers crossed. Well, I don't want to say fingers crossed they break up Otis and Gable, but also
But then we could have like Cesaro and Chad Gable. Think about that together.
What's that? And if Daniel Bryan going part-time, doesn't want to wrestle, he wants to go and be a dad, bring him in to manage him. There's a lovely trio for you. Moving on, we've got news of a former WWE champion who is teasing an in-ring return. She had to retire due to injury. Talking, of course, about Paige here. She replied to a tweet from WWE on Fox of a picture of Edge and Daniel Bryan captioned retirement, and she said, "One day," with a fingers crossed emoji, teasing the return, saying she's still hopeful that it could happen. She was forced to retire, of course, in 2018, but yeah, she still wants to do it. I'd love to see her back, truly, as long as she's safe and is able to do it safely. But we've seen so many wrestlers now come back from these career-ending injuries. It would be lovely to see Paige come back because she's obviously desperate to do something, and she's not being used on WWE TV. She obviously did the general manager stuff. She did the Kabuki Warriors stuff. She's still got something. She's still got the talent and the desire to want to do that sort of stuff, and it'd be great to see her back in the ring if it's possible.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, it's got to be tough for her because you see Daniel Bryan, you see Edge, you see these people that have been like, I can't come back and wrestle again, and then they come back. Like, that's got to be a massive drive for her to see that and be like, I want to get back in there. But yeah, like you said, as long as she's safe and as long as she's all right and she doesn't put herself in jeopardy or danger or anything, and she can come back and work safely, I'd be down for that. She did a lot for the women's division, and it'd be sad not to see her be able to live out a dream, and she's young as well, so it would be nice to have her back and let her go the whole yard, Adam. The whole yard.
There's a few matches I'd love to see Paige versus Bianca, and I'd love to see Paige versus Rhea as well. I think they could do a lot there. Oh,
leather jacket off.
Yes. All right, pervert. Anyway, we're finishing up with what Vince McMahon said to Sasha Banks when she said that she wanted to leave WWE. Give us a quick update on what happened here.
So, as you might remember, like at the beginning of 2020, she took like a 4-month hiatus from WWE, and it's been revealed now that was due to mental health issues. She said that on the Broken Skull sessions, and she said of that, depression was taking over, my mind was taking over, my thoughts were taking over. This place was being bigger than me, and I really, really lost myself because for a good 7 years, I didn't even hear my real name. I didn't even hear Mercedes anymore. All I heard was Sasha Banks, and traveling on the road, we only get 1 or 2 days off. So I'm home, not even seeing what my real hair looks like. All I see is purple hair every single day. There was just so many things that were just, I let it control me. I let it take it and be like, this is too much. Instead of being like, you know what, everything's good, breathe, everything's fine.
And I'm not going to pretend that I can relate to that, but I can certainly understand it when you're doing that kind of schedule and you're on the road that often. It must be absolutely exhausting. And I hope 2020 and the beginning of 2021 has been a bit sort of kinder on the wrestlers as far as not having to do all the house shows all the time. They are getting a bit more time at home. They are getting to spend time with their family. So hopefully we've seen mental health improve across the board. So because of this, she went to Vince McMahon and she asked for some time away from WWE. And she said, I couldn't even look at myself. I didn't know who the hell I was, how I was going to work, how angry I was going in, how sad I was. It's not the person that I dreamt of being. It hit the fan and I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose myself. So I said, you know what? You got to take a step away and find yourself again, and you got to be brave about that. And that was probably one of the hardest things I had to do, to ask to leave WWE. So she asked Vince, and Vince was like, no. He said no. He said, I'm going to give you 30 days to think about it. And then she went, of course, and took more than 30 days, taking about 4 months off at the time. I think that's a pretty poor way of dealing with this from Vince there. For somebody, Sasha Banks, she's expressed she's got these mental health issues. To go and say, okay, you've got 30 days, that to me adds more pressure.
Yeah.
So to me, the most sensible way of doing that is being like, okay, take all the time you need. Because if you rush something like that, if you rush coming back after having mental health issues or with ongoing mental health issues, to me that's probably only going to make things worse, because the pressure is even more on. And I've only got 30 days to make my mind up. I'm not sure that's the most sensible way of going about things. But obviously, she's very, very valuable to the women's division and to WWE as a whole. And so you can understand why Vince wouldn't want her off screen for that long. But I think it's probably not the most sensible way of dealing with it.
Yeah, no, and you'd think as well Vince would be like, she's one of my biggest draws in this company. I want to make sure that she's all right, in top form, and she's not, she's not damaging herself and not really, my words aren't working.
No. I think if you get burned out, then eventually you're going to really crash out, aren't you? You're gonna crash hard, and so it's trying to avoid the burnout before it gets more damaging in the long run. So hopefully she's well and happy now. She's doing great work. She had a good little outing yesterday, and fingers crossed that Sasha is in a good headspace, because she's so tremendously talented and enjoyable to watch, and she's a lovely person. Andrew, anything else you want to smash up? Go on, do the TV. Oh my God, it's a woolly hat. It's chaos.
Did you hear that?
Right, we're going. It's that cup of coffee. Pour it all over your noggin. Go on. Don't. Bye.
Bye.